it's Di here from Di's Den, and welcome to another video. This week I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's called a flip flap card. Now I've done two. I did this one first and it's nice, but it's huge. It's 8 inches by 5.5 inches, and by the time you put your pull tag on it makes it 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and I just thought it was way too big, and it's very flimsy too. So I searched around on the net and I came across this one by Jan B. Unfortunately she doesn't do much crafting at the moment. I don't know whether she's getting any better or not, but anyway, so I thought I would do one similar to this. So this is a 7x5 card. Now it does actually come a little bit over the 7 inches. It's a 7, this one is a 7 3/8, but I'm not going to make this piece here on the side here as big on my next one. So, because this was my prototype of that now, and it creaks. I don't know why it creaks, but it creaks. This one does. So let's hope my next one doesn't creak. So we're going to do one like this, but we're going to be using Share a Milkshake, and we're going to do the little ice cream here. Look, I've done them already because I needed 6 of them, so I've done those already. So I stamped them, which is this stamp, and this stamp, and then I've cut out some spoons to go with it as well. So I've done all of that in advance because there's actually a lot of stuff I've actually, well, not a lot of stuff done in advance, a few things I've done in advance. So we're going to be using that set, and I'm going to use the Life is Sweeter with You and these hearts here as well. Okay, so let me show you, let me pull my sleeves up and show you what we need, because I've actually done some of the work. Alright, so you're going to need a main card base, which is 10 inches by 7 inches. So this is called Bubble Bath, this colour, and I'm doing this for my colour creation in July. Excuse me for my fingernail. As well as our first project for August. So this, we need 2 pieces of this that measure 6.5 by 4.5. So I need 2 of those, and 1 more piece for the middle that measures 6 by 4. That's for their insert piece, and this is for the outside. So let's pop that out of the way. Okay, we're also going to need 3 pieces of card that measure 5 7/8 by 4 1/8, and you're going to stick 2 pieces together so that you've got nice thickness. Now I stuck just around the edge here like this, because this piece in the middle we're going to cut out, and then you'll have these pieces to use. So you need to stick 2 pieces together. Unless you've got really thick card, then you only need to have 2 pieces that are 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. Then you're going to need 3 pieces, which I've already done 2 of them. So we need 3 pieces that measure 4 1/8 by 2 1/8. And we're going to need, for the designer series paper, you're going to need 6 pieces that measure 2 3/4 by 1 3/8 of an inch. Okay, then you're going to need the more DSP. And these pieces all measure 4 inches long, and that's 4 by 5/8 of an inch, 4 by 1.5 inches. I think that's right. Yep. Yep. 2 that are 4 by 1.5 inches. Sorry. Let's start that piece again. This piece is 4 inches by 5/8. These 2 pieces are 4 inches by 1.5 inch, and this piece here is 4 inches by 2 inches. So we're going to need all of those. I'm trying to keep them in order. That's why I got a bit khaki with them all. Okay, so that's all the bits we're going to need, and I've already done 2 of the mechanisms, so we're doing one together, which is out of this piece of card here. Excuse me. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to do our main card, and we're going to score this on the long side at the 5-inch mark, remembering to use the small nib because we are doing on cardstock. Ooh, I went a bit on wonky there. How dare I? Alright, so I'm going to fold this up here like this because this way I know that it is even on the 3 sides or 4 sides. It's always better to just double check it before you squish it down. Alright, so that's our outside, and what we're going to do next is we're actually going to get a piece of scrap paper, which I don't have here. Oh, that was very clever of me. Let me go and get you a piece of scrap. Okay, I'm back now, and I have my bit of scrap here, which is just a bit of copy paper, and I've got my main card, which is folded in half, so it's 7 inches long by 5 inches high, and I'm going to bring in Berry Burst, and I'm going to stamp these hearts around the edge. Oh, look at that. That wasn't very clever, was it? So we're going to stamp these hearts around the edge like so. That way they've got time to dry, because my pad is very, very juicy. Very, very juicy, in fact. Just a little bit too juicy. So I'm going to do this down the sides as well. Now we don't need it to be too far in because, oops, we are going to have a piece on the front, so it's only just to put an edge around the front. So I'm not really too worried if I get too much of it on the edge of my block, but I don't really want it all over the block because it's a pain when you want to clean, or if you're in the wrong spot. Oh gosh, look at that huge lump there. Let me wipe that off. There we go. Wiping it off on my clean trousers that I've got on today. There we go. So we're going around the edge like that. Now I was going to go around the edge on the inside, but I'm not going to. I'm only doing it on the outside of that piece. Okay, so let's pop that out of the way for a minute, and we will take our larger piece, which is the 6.5 by 4.5, and glue that into the centre of our card like so. So we'll do that first so that that's got nice time to dry. And my glue doesn't want to come out. It's been so cold out here. Oh dear, come on, get in the pin in the hole. Let's see if it worked now. There we go. Oops. And I'm going to glue this piece down nice and tightly onto my card. Look at that, it's still not coming out properly. So let's pop the pin back in there. And that is the only trouble with working in a place like where I have to do my crafting, which is the shed. Okay, so I've got my piece on the front there like so, and we're just going to leave that to sit there nicely. Alright, so while we're doing that, we will now work on this piece here, which is our 2 pieces that are stuck together. So let's move that out of the way, because we'll need that again in a bit. And I'm going to, I need to cut an aperture out of the middle of this. Now for me, I just find it easier, I don't need my ruler at the present time, to mark this with a little mark at 5/8 of an inch, like that, on the two sides there, and then turn it and mark it again at 5/8 of an inch, and do that on all four sides. Oops, 5/8, and then one more on this side, which is the 5/8 of an inch, like so. And now I just get my ruler and I'll just put a little mark so that it corresponds with the one up at the top here, and turn it around and do the same on this side. And then the same this way, so that it doesn't matter which way I cut first. I've got like a square there, see, like that. And they just find that easier for helping me line up. Now this is entirely up to you, and we are going to be able to rub those off afterwards. So now I'm going to have to bring in my trimmer, because we're going to trim this. Now I'm going to stand up to do this, because if I sit down and do this, I can't see what I'm doing off. So you're going to have to excuse the fact that my head will be in this. So we're going to bring this in, and I've only got a cutting blade on this one, and we're going to pop this in here at the 5/8 of an inch mark, like so. And that way you can see that and that line up in that spot. And we're going to bring this down to the 5/8 of an inch mark. Right, like so. And we're going to cut down to the oh, excuse me, 5 and I think that's a 5 1/4 mark. Okay, so we can see we're right at that mark. I'm going to turn this so it's in the 5/8 of an inch mark again. That way we can see that that's lined up there. And we're going to bring this back up to the 5/8 of an inch mark. And this time we're going to bring it down to the 3 1/2 inch mark. Now you're going to have to make sure that you've cut, because you are going through two pieces. So if you're not sure, like that one hasn't, so I'm going to go back there and do that one again. I'm going to bring that back in there to the 5/8 of an inch mark. Down to the 5 1/4. There we go. Alright, so then we're going to bring this into the 5/8 again. 5/8. Down to the 5 1/4. Just run it back, just make sure it's gone through. And then once more, 5/8 of an inch there. I can see that that's lined up nicely. 5/8 of an inch here. This is probably the hardest part of this card. Down to the 3 1/2. And we have cut all the way around on our card. Let me pop that on the floor and sit down. As I say, I'm sorry if my head was in the picture. I won't be able to see until I am ready to edit this. So I'm rubbing these marks all off before I take the centre out, because I can see then whether I've missed anywhere. Okay, so that's good. Move them out of the way, and we can pop them out nice and gently. If you've missed a bit, like this one in this corner's not quite cut, we can then bring our scissors in and, oh come on, get in there scissors. Yeah, come on, get in, get in, get in. Yeah, there you go. And from this side as well. Oh, there we go. Just pop that one out. We don't want to pull it too much because we don't want it to tear. So, And then we got our 2 pieces that are in the middle because I only glued around the edge. Now, for me, I don't like that look around the edge from the cutting blade, so I actually do just smooth it down so that it's smoothed down all the way around. Now I'm going to bring back in my piece of scrap and I'm going to stamp those soggy hearts all the way around again. This is probably the most tedious part because we need to do this and get it to dry nicely. So we're going to just pop this in. I'm just going to wipe that off again. Start up this end maybe. It's such a soggy pad, this one. I guess it is new because was a colour that was around a few years back, and for some reason I didn't have my pad anymore. I don't know what happened to it. It must have got very, very dry or horrible, so I threw it. And one more just in there. There we go. So we've got those in there, and that's our stamping around the edge of our piece done. So let me pop that out of the way for now, and we're going to work on this piece, which are our mechanisms. Now, as I say, I've already done 2, so I'll pop them there so you can see what we're doing. And we're going to bring in our scoreboard. Oh dear me, still got this terrible cold, I can't get rid of it. Using the small end again, we're going to pop this on the short side, and we're going to score this at 5/8 of an inch all the way down, and then we're going to turn it onto the long side and we're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch, and we're going to turn it all the way around to the other long side as well, and we're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch again. So now we're going to bring it to the other short side, and we're going to go down to 5/8 of an inch, just down to that first score line. We're going to turn it around and we're going to bring it in, and we're going to score down from 1.5 inches to the first score line, which is 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so we have 5/8, 5/8, 5/8, 5/8 top and bottom. So we've got a whole piece right here in the middle that is not touched. Okay, so let's pop this board out of the way. And we're going to start with this piece here. I've got glue on my fingers. Let me just get that glue off. That's better. Alright. So I'm going to start on the side where I have these 2 little squares and no line here. So if you can see that, we're going to start here and here. So we need it on this side, which is the landscape side, and we're going to cut either side of our score line and remove it. So we're going to do that, and then we'll pop that up and just cut that piece out like so. So we're going to do that on this one as well. We're going to cut either side of the score line, pop this piece up and remove it. Okay, and then we're going to turn it all the way around so it's on the other landscape side, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to cut either side of the score line and remove it, and we're cutting up to the other score line. So it's cutting up to that score line there, and then up to this score line here. So we're cutting along to that score line and removing this piece here, like so. So our card looks like this. Now we're going to cut down this score line. Now you can do this, I'm going to do this by hand, and we want to cut just on that side of the score line. So on the side of the score line. So we cut that score line away. So if you've got like me, like that tiny bit there, you just cut that in afterwards. Now you can do that on your scoreboard, on your trimmer if you want, or you can do it by hand. Now I've just done it by hand, so let me just get rid of all my bits, get them off my fingers. So we have our piece like this. Now we need to fold these pieces in to the middle, making sure that they are level along this top edge. And we're going to burnish that down, and then we're going to do the other side the same. This one, making sure that it's straight across this edge. We don't want it on a wonky. If it's wonky, move it around to get it straight so that it's straight across that top edge. That is very important. Turn it up the other way and do exactly the same thing. So like that, my one there is down a bit, you can see that. So I'm going to push that up so that it's nice and even across the top, and bring that in. If that means that you have to cut a tiny bit more away in here because you didn't cut enough away before, that's fine. But make sure that it is even across the top, otherwise it will not move properly. And this one the same. Now once we've done that, what we need is we need to have them so that this cut line, this piece that we've cut out, is on our left hand side. And then we're going to pop our pieces of Designer Series paper on. So we're going to pop our pieces of Designer Series paper on. Now these pieces of paper are very, very close in size to this section here. So we're going to bring that in and pop one on one side and one on the other. Oh, excuse me, got a sniffy nose today. And you can hear it pouring the rain outside. Okay, so that's those. And to me, this little bit here is just, to me, it just seems just that tiny bit too wide. So I'm actually going to bring this in here, move them back, and just bring that in so that I can make that, if it will cut, just that much off, just that much. See how much that is? Just the slitheriest piece off. That is just my opinion. It will fit in much nicer. Okay, so we have our three pieces like so, and we have our other piece, because we had three pieces, remember, of these, and one piece we stuck two together. We have one spare one. So we're going to bring this in, and we're going to glue these two tabs on this side where we've cut out. So we're going to put glue on this top tab, and on this bottom tab here. And we're going to bring this in, and we want it to marry up with the corner completely. So we're not going to stick the bottom one down, we're sticking just the top one, making sure that it's right in that top corner and that it's even on those two sides, so when you turn it over you can't see it. Once you're happy with that, we'll bring the bottom one in and we will do exactly the same. So we've got the bottom one in, you can see that it's even on the two sides and it doesn't show out the back. Once we're happy with that, we'll give those a few seconds to scrop down. We can then turn these pieces back, and we're going to bring in the next one, and we're going to glue that one into place just here in exactly the same way. Now we want to make sure that it doesn't go over this one, so we need, I haven't got a piece of card that's small enough, let's use a bit of this. There we go. When you've got this together like so, you need it to go together so that when you pop this one down here and this one here, you can only just see that blue in there. Can you just see that blue in there moving around? See it in there just moving up and down? We just want it just that little bit. So we're going to, once again, out of the cut edge, we're going to pop some glue on these tabs, making sure we don't go over the edge. And glue on that tab there. And we don't want it to go over the edge because this piece here needs to move. We need to lay this down flat. We need to pop this one on, making sure that it is even with the top. Once again, and you got that tiny gap down the side there. Not much, but just the tiniest gap. Once you're happy with that one, then we'll pop the back one down exactly the same. The bottom one, I mean. So that it glues down and it's not over the edge. As you can see, it's not over the edge there at all. Once we're happy with that one and we've got that one squished down, we can just check that this is going to move nicely. Look at that, see, it's not overhanging because it's not going over that one. So now we can pop the last one on. So we're going to move those tabs out the way, bring this one in, and we're going to pop this one in exactly the same way. So on this cut edge, we're going to pop glue on these tabs. Excuse me. And we're going to bring this one in, and we're going to pop this one so that it's the same as the other one. Top is nice and even. You can just see the other one between there. It should be virtually butted up against this one. And this one, just make sure that that's not going over the edge there. You're happy with that? Woohoo! We're happy with that. We can see that that's going to move across there like this without catching on this one. Oops, catching on this one. We don't want it to catch on any of them. Well, once we're happy with that, all our tabs will now be laying to our left. And we're going to turn this way. And we need to make sure because I've got a directional, that I've got my direction facing me with these tabs going this way. And this is going to now sit on the top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put glue on all of these tabs. All of them, every single one of them. Okay, and then I find it easier to work this way. Some people work this way. I find it easier to work this way. I'm going to pop this corner down so that I know that it's correct in this corner, and then I can make sure that the bottom one is correct right the way along. I can see that when I pick this up, that all my things are facing the correct way, and this lines up along the bottom and the sides, and I can squish that one down. Once I'm happy with that one, I can then push the top one down in place as well. Alright, once I'm happy with that, and we just got to wait for that to dry a tiny bit, we can then check it. Oh look, it doesn't squeak this time. So once we've done that, well, I should have actually put those other pieces in there first. I should have put these in first, but I muffed up, so we will do that now. So we'll pop this one all the way over here, and we're going to put this long one on this edge. So this is entirely up to you if you want to do it this way or whether you want to pop them in beforehand. So we're going to pop these in here so that we get a tiny edge along that side there. And now I've got to get this in the middle. Trust me, to do it wrong, duh! That's what happens when you're not watching. Get out of the way. Never mind, it will go. Now this is tight, and it should be tight. We're going to pop that in there, like so. Cut that one down nice and tight. Let's do the next one. I can't believe I did that. Never mind. You can see that you can still do it even when you do a little boo-boo like me. So this has got just the tiniest little gap, top and bottom. Okay, so, and then we just want to pop that last one on that end there. So let's pop this little one on the end here. Oh, that's a little bit long by the looks of things. No, it's not up to me. Just my eyes. Okay, so we've got our piece going like this now. Now I'm going to put my little bit on the end here. Now I've got a little piece of card here, which I didn't say what size this was. So this is about 2 inches long. And I'm going to fold it in half, like so. And this is, and I'm going to squish that down really hard. And so this is 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm going to pop this on the end here, like so. And then I will stamp this piece. No, I won't stamp that bit. So I'm going to glue that piece into place there. And I need to glue on both sides because I'm going to pop this on here, and I'm going to cut it over the top of those things, but make sure it doesn't go past this line here. So got that one down nice and tight like that. Maybe I will. I think I'm going to do this. I'm just going to use this pen, which is my Berry Burst, and I'm going to draw a line. Oh, that doesn't look like Berry Burst, does it? Like this. Oh, that's a really strange looking Berry Burst. I'll have to get that checked out. And then I will just stamp some more there, like so. That's it. Okay, so once we've done that, that is so that we know the recipient knows to pull. Now I can see that I have a little bit over the top just there, so I'm actually going to just trim that piece back just there, if I can see it, get it, because it's not going to hurt. And so mine's that little tiny bit there. There we go. That's half of it. Let's turn it this way and we can do the rest. I can't do the rest from that side. I'll have to do it from this side. There we go. Got that little bit. So that's better. It doesn't show just there. So that's the main part of our card, so like this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to do the decorating before I actually put the card onto the thing, onto the front of the card. So I have all these ice creams and spoons that I've cut out. So I'm going to pop one on each of one of these. Now I'm going to put them flat for the simple reason that if they're high, it is going to make it very bulky, and I don't think we need to make a bulky card. So I have one there. One there. going to open it up and I'm going to push it back this way, just that tiny bit more because we can. And get rid of that off the table because I don't like bits sitting around. And put them on this side as well. Now I haven't got a saying for the front of this, but because I don't know what I'm going to where I'm going to put it as yet. So as time goes on, by the time this goes live, I will have put something on the front, I think. So we have our things like so. So we're going to see where do we want our spoons. I'm just going to put one spoon down the bottom here. That way. Oh, listen to that rain. I'll put one up the top. Oops, come back spoon. No, I'll pop this one down. Oh, put the glue on the wrong side. That wasn't very clever, was it? Let's pop that one on one side. If I don't need it, I won't use it. And so glue down here will do. Stick down you. Spoon down there. And the same on the inside. I did cut 9 spoons and lost one. I cut 8 spoons and lost one, so I had to cut another. I don't know where it went. Probably somewhere silly. Okay. Probably come across it later on today. Alright, so let's pop that spoon out of the way. So that's our card done like so. Let's pop them out of the way because we're going to use them on the inside. And we're going to bring in our main card, making sure that it opens the correct way. We're now going to glue this onto the front here like so. So we're going to pour glue all the way over the back. Bring this in nicely so that it's even all the way around. Give it a nice squish down. Open it up and squish it down from the back. Okay, so while that's drying like that, and see how that doesn't go over the edge there, which means this is now definitely a 7x5 card. Alright, so let's bring in our other piece and we're going to stamp this piece with our Life is Sweeter with You. And I don't know that I really need anything on the front, but we will see when I get to that stage. Life is Sweeter with You. And we will pop, oops, a couple more of those down there like that. Oh, I've got an itchy eye. One there. I might put one at the top there. As you know, I always improvise. I have this idea in my head, but I don't finish it off until I'm doing this with you guys. So, alright, so a spoon by the side. Right there, and this one, oh, that one's dried off nicely, you can't see it. Stick down you. Oh, come on, I can't even hold it now. Now we'll pop this spoon over here like this. And now we'll glue this to this other insert piece. Oh, and we will if I can pick it up. And we'll pop that one in there like so. Now I did use a larger border around here than what I would normally do, but I just thought it just needed it. It just needed to pop. That's my opinion. If you want to do the smaller borders, that's fine. And I just thought it just really needed to pop, so. Okay, so the larger borders all the way around this one. That was. Okie dokie, let's pop the pin in my glue. And now I have some little basic pearls that I have coloured using cherry cobbler ink. Oh, come on. And I'm going to pop them, if I can get them off the card, the piece, onto the top of my, like a cherry on the top. I thought the cherry die was just a little bit too big, so, oh, come on, there we go. Get off my finger. Get on the top of the ice cream. Oh, come on. Oh gosh, this one doesn't want to stick to the ice cream. There we go. You can see I've got ink everywhere. So I'm only going to put 3 on the front and that's it. If I put them on the inside as well, it's going to make it bulky and it won't sit down flat. But this will sit flat in the mail, as you can see. And it opens up like this, and it's called a flip flap card, and I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. I love the fact that I've done this for my colour creation along with my which is my blog hop, along with my YouTube, and you guys for I can't even think what I'm saying now, for my video and my tutorial page. So if you like that, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I do love to hear from you all, and I do answer all the comments. I do always reply. It might take me a couple of days, especially if I've been sick, but I do always do it. So if you've enjoyed that, I would love to hear from you. If you would like the written tutorial, head down to the bottom here. You'll find the link to Di's Den for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. That's my Facebook group, and you will find the written tutorial there. The written tutorial goes live exactly the same time as the YouTube video, which is 8 AM South Australian time on a Sunday morning, and it will be named exactly the same. So whatever date the videos are, if you're looking at this like say 3 months or in the future and you see it and you think, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, just check the date. Whatever the date is, the written tutorial will be exactly the same date with exactly the same name. So if you've enjoyed that, and it does sit up nicely, and it flip-flops, I love that. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.